A pirate attack! Raised voices, running feet, and violent thudding on his locked cabin door jerked Captain Seisenko Samadi from his sleep. His clock showed 4 a.m. With a shiver, Seisenko realized someone was trying to force his door open. Moments later, the cabin door gave way and 3 men burst in. Masked and dressed in black, each clutched a meter-long parang, a sword-like weapon, ready to strike. One man slammed the hilt of his blade into Seisenko's face, knocking him to the floor. As blood gushed from his head, the captain felt the intruders bind his hands and feet.
"Tell your crew to come to the bridge."
The leader snapped in Indonesian.
"If your entire crew doesn't surrender, we'll kill you all."
That day was the third of a routine 7-day voyage from Singapore to Yangon, Myanmar, and Seisenko's fully laden 7,000-ton oil tanker Neptune de Lima, with its crew of 18, should have been cruising serenely through the Strait of Malacca. Pirates roamed these waters, hijacking ships and selling off the cargo. Yet, the Indonesian skipper had sailed this route 100 times without any problems. Now, the pirates were in his cabin, threatening him and his crew. His luck had run out. The insistent buzz of the intercom on his cabin wall woke Muhammad Hamid, the ship's bosun.
"There is a speedboat next to us,"
a seaman told him.
"It might be pirates."
Muhammad called the bridge. Nobody answered. Had pirates seized it? The 28-year-old Malaysian pulled on his orange overalls and edged into the corridor to investigate. As he mounted the stairs to the upper deck, he heard the captain's voice on the loudspeaker.
Wake up! Wake up! There are pirates on our ship. All crew go to the bridge."
Then Muhammad heard the captain cry out in pain. Muhammad tingled with fear, but the Malaysian was responsible for the crew. A devout Muslim, nicknamed Imam because he was a natural leader, he had gone to sea at the age of 20 to support his parents, who were poor farmers. He took his responsibilities seriously. Going from cabin to cabin, he roused 6 men and led them to the control room.
"We have no weapons. Whatever the pirates want, give it to them,"
and instructed the sailors to go to the bridge. As the first sailor crossed the gangway and stepped into the bridge, a masked man grabbed him around the chest and thrust a parang to his throat. Panic-stricken, the other hands fled. Muhammad froze. The pirate was big and powerful. He could only see the man's eyes, and they were flat and merciless. The sailor is as good as dead, Muhammad thought. He ran for his life. Leaping down from deck to deck, Muhammad darted into the tanker's bowels, hunting for shipmates. Several times he saw pirates and was able to hide in the maze of corridors that he knew so well. But he could not find a single crewman. Bewildered, he hid under the bed in a deserted cabin for a breather. No sooner had he settled when the door opened. Muhammad realized that while he'd been hunting for his shipmates, the pirates were hunting him. Lying absolutely still, he watched a beam of light fall across the cabin as a pirate scanned the room. For an instant, the flashlight pierced his hiding place and grazed his knees. Then the door slammed and he was in darkness again. Relaxing, Muhammad figured if he could dodge the pirates, maybe others had too. He slid from under the bed and resumed searching. Crossing the stern deck, he spotted a pirate just meters away. Muhammad was sure he'd been spotted. He raced across the deck and dropped onto the platform meters below. Muhammad glanced at his watch. 5 a.m. This frantic game of cat and mouse had lasted for almost an hour. He had to hide, but it was easier said than done. the 80-meter-long deck was lit up like a football stadium. Then he remembered the pipes. 3 oil pipelines ran the length of the deck. Each was 30 centimeters in diameter, with a space underneath and a half-meter gap between them. Praying his orange overalls would camouflage him against the red deck, Muhammad slid beneath them. In the distance, he heard what sounded like men being beaten and cries of pain. If the pirates caught him, Muhammad knew he would die on this ship. Moments later, he heard footsteps. An Indonesian voice declared,
I'll kill you, Hamid.
Metal clanged against metal. Then again,
I'll kill you, Hamid.
Muhammad saw a glint of steel as the pirate whacked his parang against the pipe. He wondered how they knew his name. There were 3 of them. Now they were walking along the top of the pipes, looking into the shadows with flashlights. The footsteps and the threats grew fainter as they moved towards the prow, then louder as they retraced their steps. A beam crossed Muhammad's outstretched legs for a split second. This is the end, he thought. But the pirate didn't spot him. When the flashlight caught him again, he removed his wristwatch, hid it under the pipe, and steeled himself. They might get him, but they wouldn't get his watch. It was the one he'd bought on his first day with the company 8 years earlier. Miraculously, the pirate passed by just centimeters from his head and kept moving. Moments later, all 3 were climbing the staircase, quitting the deck. Muhammad breathed a sigh of relief and wondered, now what do I do? Muhammad went to the recreation room 4 decks below the bridge. Captain Sasenko sat hunched and immobile, his hands and feet still tied. For half an hour he watched as his crew was frog-marched into the room. 2 are missing, Sasenko reflected uneasily. Are Muhammad and Saad hiding or dead? The 44-year-old skipper didn't know that some of the 10 pirates were searching the ship for them. Nor did he know that one of his crew was in cahoots with the criminals. Indonesian second officer Ferry Rahayu had asked to sail closer to shore so he could telephone his wife about their sick son, but he'd actually called the pirate chief Lukman Amim and given him the Nepline Delima's position. Later, he lowered a ladder to help the pirates aboard and then identified the 2 missing sailors. Sasenko wondered what the pirates were after. Did they want valuables? Cash from the safe? If so, they would have grabbed it and left. Most likely, he figured they wanted the ship itself or its cargo, up to $15 million worth of diesel oil. Then again, they might kill everyone and torch the ship. These men had weapons, and his bloody head wounds were proof that they were dangerous. Sasenko decided to obey their orders and try to prevent further bloodshed. When the pirates realized they couldn't navigate the ship, Sasenko was escorted to the bridge. As 2 pirates hovered menacingly behind him, he explained the autopilot, radar, steering, and radio to Lukman. It was unnerving. If the pirates were frustrated, they could turn ugly. It would have been dangerous to fight or resist. Still hiding under the pipes, Muhammad weighed his options. He could jump overboard, but not without a life vest. Wearing a vest, he'd last 2 days, and in this busy sea lane, maybe a ship would pick him up. But the vests were on the prow, stern and upper decks, all out of reach. Then, scanning the deck, he noticed a white rope tied to the rail on the opposite side. A diligent sailor, top of his class at the Malaysian Marine Academy, he realized instantly that it didn't belong to his ship. If the pirate's boat was at the end of it, he could escape. Easing from his hiding place, Muhammad crawled across the deck. A rotating searchlight swept the deck, and whenever it came near, he froze. After 5 agonizing minutes, he reached the rail. There were 2 ropes one as thick as his wrist. A slate blue speedboat bobbed 3 meters below. He sliced the thicker rope with his pocket knife and jumped down into the boat. He cut the second rope. The tanker swiftly pulled away. The 7-meter powerboat looked new and modern, but Muhammad understood ships, not speedboats. In the darkness, he felt around the control panel, hunting with his fingers for a button, switch or lever. After 10 tense minutes, he finally located the starter switch behind the wheel. Amazingly, the key was in the ignition. Muhammad started the engine but pushed the throttle too hard and felt himself surfing through pitch darkness. He eased back and the boat stabilized. It had started to rain and he was soon drenched. But he'd escaped. Now Muhammad knew it was his duty to raise the alarm and save his captain and crew. There was no navigation equipment, not even a compass, and the sky was overcast and starless. Trusting luck and instinct, Muhammad headed for Malaysia's mainland, which he knew was on the starboard side of the ship. But after 30 minutes, the engine shut down. Muhammad's heart sank. He was out of gas. Searching around, he found some jerry cans near the stern, hurriedly topped up the tank, and was again racing over the waves. Finally, after almost 4 hours, he made it to a Royal Malaysian Marine Police jetty. Within minutes, a bedraggled Muhammad was telling officers his ship had been hijacked.
We can still catch them,
he pleaded. The rescue was quickly underway. The Marine Police reached the tanker by late morning. After a tense standoff, Deputy Superintendent Salam Halim, who led the team, announced,
"If you don't give up, and if you want casualties and death, I will storm the ship."
After a nerve-wracking 10-minute silence, Luqman asked for more time to think. Minutes later, he said,
Sir, don't hurt us. We are giving up.
When Captain Sasango boarded the police boat and saw Muhammad, tears of joy and relief streamed down his bloodied face. As the two men hugged each other, Sasango told him,
If you had not become a hero, I might already be dead.
Seaman Muhammad Saad bin Musa had hidden under a mattress throughout the entire drama and was unharmed. Luqman Amin and his accomplices were convicted of robbery and each given a 7-year prison sentence. Muhammad's parents have persuaded their son to stay ashore.